A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts.
For many of us, from the minute that alarm clock goes off, we drown ourselves in a by now very familiar sea of painful thoughts. We lie in bed, still half asleep, until the same creeping thoughts of inadequacy and despair hit us like a truck, and we reluctantly get up. We brush our teeth and look in the mirror and dwell, once again, on how awful we look today, more particularly on how the left side of our face is not symmetrical to the right side of our face. We sit down and have breakfast until, once again, the thought of a movie we pirated 2 years ago and how the police might be preparing to close in and arrest us. We will think, once again, of the vague suspicion that our friends, particularly those we met recently, are secretly plotting to exclude and ostracize us. We will lose our appetite and leave half a piece of toast on our plate and cereal barely touched to get on with the rest of our day. These thoughts could superficially be about a variety of topics, but beneath the surface, they have two key features in common. They are about something appalling we feel we are or have done, or they are about something appalling we fear that others are about to do to us. We fall victim to one of the cruelest forms of mental torture: obsessively thinking. Ironically, obsessive thinking is fundamentally not thinking at all, despite its name. Although it certainly looks like obsessive thinkers are thinking a lot, they aren't actually thinking all that much. All day, they might be scribbling in their notebooks or typing like a madman. They might take a rain check or leave early to hide in their room and think. They might be able to tell you the lore behind every single Mario Kart character, or every single stat of Michael Jordan's basketball career, or every single update down to the last second of the love life between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. As obsessive thinkers, we are not actually progressing through anything of note. We are not advancing through a dilemma. We are not clearing up a priority. We are essentially thinking to avoid thinking at all. We are obsessively using other thoughts to overload our brain and ward off the most important thoughts of all. What are these more important thoughts, you might ask, and why are we so afraid of them? These are deceptively simple-sounding questions. If we were forbidden to think about our so-called obsessions, if we were banned from our chosen themes, what might we think about? Your mind will not give you a straight answer. Most of the times, it will try to elude you and give you a half-convincing panic response. However, one can only guess that we would, in one way or another, feel intensely and overwhelmingly sad, lonely, desperate, or bereft. As a defense mechanism, we build up these walls of thoughts racing around our minds like a moat around a castle, keeping the monsters at bay. Inside the castle, you'll almost always find an extremely frightened, isolated, unloved child, huddled up in a corner. These obsessive thoughts are often a logic failsafe developed when the little child couldn't figure out why these monsters were after them. Maybe it's the mistreatment by a parent or bullying from school. Perhaps it's something as benign as misjudged, misbelieved preference for a sibling. The traumas from our past are the monsters we are still trying to run from today. Behind the monomaniacal thoughts about video games or social media or work gossip, we are running a desperate marathon away from the demons of our past. Just for once, we should stop running, pause and stand still in the present. Stop chasing the future and let the past catch up. Sit there in the sand and let the waves of grief and fear wash over us. The truth is that we were very badly let down, but it doesn't mean we have to let ourselves down for the rest of our lives. By lying in bed a little longer, brushing your teeth completely and finishing your breakfast. The obsessive walls of thoughts will have the opportunity to diminish and calm. Stop and smell the roses. As cheesy or cliche as that sounds, you'll find that if you stop once in a while, your past will stop being just a nightmare and your future will stop being just a dream.